what's happened with the points table? Let's just quickly look at that and evaluate. 1 point each, which means Sri Lanka sneak with that extra second no result for them. So they're in an even number of points, but with 2 no results, and Bangladesh are on 3 points. We've had, in the history of the World Cups, the number of matches been abandoned without even a toss has been 2 in across all World Cups, and now we've had 2 in a week.
No, I have 2 very important words for you. It's called reserve days. I mean, this is ridiculous to have a tournament where you come once every 4 years, come together and not have a situation where you can have a reserve day. Remember, reserve days saved a lot of the games in 1999, where you remember an India-England game that was removed. In fact, I was just looking around 6th, 7th of June was the last match which was abandoned, which was the match between New Zealand and Zimbabwe, I think was abandoned. They tried to play it, but over the 6th and the 7th. They tried to play it over 2 days, it couldn't happen, they washed out. You cannot have a tournament of this stature. Today, Bangladesh will go back and think they have one more washout like this, and they'd say, we might have beaten Sri Lanka, we could have had another result, we could have been a semi-finalist. So, I'm sorry, for whatever it's worth, you have to give top-level teams or teams preparing for 4 years, you cannot allow them the opportunity that games can get washed out and there's no chance to play it again. I'm sorry, that's bad scheduling.
Yeah, I think that's I saw a lot of conversations happening on Twitter, etc., about people saying that the counterpoint to that was, because of the format, each team playing 9 games, if you were to schedule reserve days, we'd be going into August.
Well, no, but I think it's not like these guys don't have these games are well spread out for each team. It's not like they're playing back-to-back games. But given an opportunity to Bangladesh, if you ask them if they had to play a back-to-back game in such a scenario, I'm sure they would choose to do it. Because of actually what it means to each one of those players in that team. So I think either sides would have wanted to play this game. It would have served them well to have played this game and have a result and have 2 points either way, instead of having just 1 point and splitting it.
No, absolutely. And also, you're in England. England, everything is 4 hours away, 5 hours away. You drive through the night. It's not as if it's like India. You're playing a match in Guwahati.
And you're having to book 20 different flights.
Yeah, it's not a question like that. You can drive around here. It's not that difficult. And so I just find it difficult because English weather, it's not as if we are suddenly waking up to the fact that English weather is like this. I mean, it has been for the past 5,000 odd years that we know of. So, there's no reason to believe that this year it won't rain. So I just find it a bit perplexing that we do not have a solution for it,
And the scary part is that what we've been hearing, it's expected to be one of the wettest Junes in history.
Yes.
We know June is still relatively wetter than anyway June, July or August, which are the traditional summer months. So, I mean, I don't think they can change halfway, but if they could, they would.
They wouldn't now. They can't now. But definitely, I think the next time they have a World Cup there in England, I'm sure they would consider that. But in hindsight, considering how forecasts well beforehand, considering how that well beforehand, you think that they would keep aside reserve days for situations such as these, because this is now. But say it's a qualification game, and then two teams are contending to qualify, and then if that gets rained off, and then the team that isn't contending plays the game the next day and then qualifies, then it's going to really bite someone in the bottom.
Yeah, and there's no real dry season you can think of playing the game in. I mean, obviously, in traditionally India would play their cricket in the peak of winter. Now you've had situations where you're having to play with the retreating monsoon in Chennai in October, and so much cricket happening, but you can still play around that.
See, when we worked on the Under-17 Football World Cup which I was handling, one of the first things FIFA did was they needed a 30-year report on the rainfall in October in each of the venues. So that you have to go and see, and remember, this is football. Football, you can play in conditions like that. You still had a report saying that there's an average of 11 days of rain in this thing. There's 12 days of rain out here. And in fact, the venue we were most scared of was Guwahati. And one match got rained out. But
Close to the rainiest place on earth.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, you have to, and this is an under-17, it's a FIFA World Cup, it's an under-17 World Cup. I mean, this is a tournament where billions see around the world. I have no reason to believe that they wouldn't have planned for such, situations. That's all.
Points to ponder. We've briefly touched on Bangladesh, Sri Lanka too. Now that they've got an even number of points, I mean, they'll be thinking the rain's following them around. I know they come from they're probably the rainiest test playing nation going, but they won't have been expecting that in a situation like this in a big World Cup.
Well, I'm sure everyone is anticipating rain, because when you go to England in this time of the year, you know sometimes you're gonna experience rain from time to time.
But it's generally, as you said, time to time. It's sometimes that intermittent drizzle
that comes and goes, But this has been, like you said, the wettest June in years together. So, don't be surprised if other games are going to be washed out as well.
Yeah.